It's getting late. It's a Monday. I have a West Coast ball game to do at the station today. Didn't want to rhyme that thing out, just that's the way that it landed for me. 90 degrees at 7 p.m. Yes, 7 o'clock at night. My car thermo still showing 90 degrees for this sunny hot Monday. 30-minute musings, June, what are we at here? It's like 11th or 12th, somewhere on there. I don't know. Losing track. Maybe even the 13th, I'm not sure. See, I did the ball game yesterday, and I always have to save the highlights. What did I type? I typed in 1606 something. 10, 11, 12, I don't know. Well, it's Monday, regardless. Regardless or irregardless? Well, something's kind of chapping my ass the least bit. And it has to do with the things that happened in Orlando. Now, I used to live there, and of course there was a gunman that killed 50 people, injured 50 plus more. And of course this just causes some decisive discussions all across social media of all places where everybody's got a big dick or whatever, beer muscles, if you want to call them that. It's a digital dick measuring contest. Some people are saying, dude, let's get rid of the fucking automatic rifles. Gun control, gun control, gun control. Some people are saying, nah, he's just a fucking Muslim cocksucker and, blah, blah, blah. It's like everything's being put under an umbrella and a microscope. Not all Muslims are bad. I don't think Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is a piece of shit. I really don't. I don't think anybody would ever say that. Muhammad Ali didn't seem like a piece of shit. Stood up for himself. But he wasn't a hurtful, scornful, callous murderer. No, he was not. Eddie Murphy. Funny guy. Okay? I don't think that he's a hurtful, malicious, cutthroat son of a bitch that's doing things in the name of the God of his choosing. Because which one is right? Religion's part of the problem. But people, Muslim, he's a Muslim. So people take that the wrong way. I'm trying to look at the gray area. And then other people, gun control. No, it's not gun control. Don't take away my gun, says the white old guy Republican. And it's the division of everything. That's exactly where this all is. It's the division of everything. Yes, I say Republican, because they're the ones that love the guns, obviously, and I got nothing against that. My question is, why the fully automatic rifle? I mean, we don't hear about somebody going in like Billy the Kid with 2 6-shooters and shooting up a place and killing a ton of people. No, it's always like a fully automatic rifle. That's the gun control thing. And the Muslim thing, like I said, I'm looking at the gray area. Not all Muslims are bad. There seems to be, sure, to the same degree, though. One bad apple spoiling the whole bunch. Some people will look at it in that divisive way, where like a couple of a bad Muslim here and there. Well, they're all bad, but yet they support the police. And police in the states here do things that are really fucking heinous and not within the laws. A lot of them get away with it. Those are bad apples too. We should get rid of them too, I suppose. No, they're American. So I don't know. And if I support the police and the Muslim, I'm still like a terrorist lover or something like that. Well, I'm not supporting the terrorists, sorry. It's just I'm saying not all Muslims are terrible. Like I said, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Muhammad Ali. It's like, okay. I mean, if you want to put it all under a huge umbrella, I don't know. You can't have everything so black and white, but it's the divisive nature of everything. These states are no longer united. And just going on Facebook just to check things. By the way, there's a California plate in front of me on the other side of the intersection. I'm parked, so are they. But it's the divisive nature that we have here in the states. And I've brought this up several times before. Republican, Democrat, young, old, rich, poor, black, white, man, woman. These states are not united. And it's like if you try to find any common ground on something, like I said, not all Muslims are bad. Well, yeah, they are. They're goddamn fucking terrorists. Okay, but he used an automatic weapon. We need gun control. No, we don't need gun control. You're a fucking terrorist. You're trying to take my guns away. I'm American. That's my right. Oh, Jesus fuck. You can't win with any of them. Can't win with anybody. You try to split things in some area of gray, and in doing so, well, they just instantly think you're one of them. Like, no, there are bad apples through everything. There are. Spoiling the whole bunch. But just to see, okay, the main outcry was this was a clear hate crime performed at a gay club. Arizona played right in front of me. Nice. Speaking of Arizona, that's the Marlins have to play the Arizona Diamondbacks. No, sorry, they're in San Diego tonight. Still a West Coast game, but they're playing San Diego. My apologies. Yesterday was Arizona. Anyway, so interesting to see that little tie-in. But, yeah, just to see all the decisive bullshit where you can't take a stance on anything, otherwise you're one of them. It's like, I don't think all Muslims are bad. Well, then you're one of them. You're a fucking Muslim lover. You piece of shit, dude. You're not American enough. I don't want to be an American. Look around. I don't want to be associated with this shit. I don't. I really don't. I mean, there's too much negative bullshit. United States? When was the last time we were united? Probably World War II. That's about it. I'm going back to the late 40s. Before my parents were born was probably where this country as a whole was still pretty much with each other. Oh, nope, sorry, civil rights had not yet happened yet. Blacks did not have all the rights. Fuck, nope, that wasn't it either. This country's always been fucked. Let's just say it as it is. Founded by slave owners who wanted to be free. Say that slower. This country was founded, well, raped and pillaged and slaughtered for and whatever. Taken. Stolen. By white slave owners who wanted to be free from the rule of the king and the royal family. Really? Like, that's so fucking stupid. Just the basis of the creation of what this country has become. Terrible. Somebody did post something interesting on Facebook today, though. And I got to attack Facebook because Twitter seems like it's not always so wrapped up in these things. But, seems like yesterday was not the worst mass killing in U.S. history. It was not. What was it, Saturday night, Sunday morning? That was not the worst mass killing in U.S. history. It wasn't. Somewhere around 1890, when all the Indians were killed, Little Bighorn, one of those, in the Dakotas. Just annihilated by federal agents, apparently. If I read it correctly, I'm willing to be corrected, and that's fine, but Native Americans, Indians, whatever, I don't mean offense when I say, that. But Indians being killed because apparently they had firearms and they needed to be confiscated, so federal agents, this country's fucked. Straight up. It's kind of sad how things happening in the States right now, like these are the things that we as Americans would make fun of other countries for having happened. Or something like that would be the whole issue. Look at who's running for president in the United States. Are you fucking kidding me? A lying, conniving, talking out of both sides of her mouth cunt, and a selfish piece of shit, spray tan, born with a silver spoon in his mouth, rich cocksucker who thinks he knows what real work is. I mean, they're two completely full of shit pieces of, just garbage men. They both should just be sewer rat, garbage pieces of shit, which is kind of how I view them. Brings me to another point. So long as we're getting into a volatile fucking talk here, there's some people out there, and it scares me. It just shows that the system is flawed. It's like, I'm not voting for Hillary, or I'm not voting for Trump. Well, in that, you're not voting for the other person. Like, for example, I'm not rooting for either of them. I don't know many people that are rooting for either of them, but I'm voting against Hillary. But you're not voting for, you should be voting for somebody, not against somebody. You know what I mean? Like, that's the problem with this two-party system. And again, that's the division of these states that were once said to be united. Oh, these states were never united. Never was. Just never was. State laws are different, rules are different, East Coast to West Coast, North to South, state by state, county by county. Everything's different. Previous 30-minute musings, I've talked about, there's dry counties in Texas and in Lynchburg, Tennessee, where Jack Daniels was, born. That's a dry county. It's illegal to sell alcohol in that county. What? I don't know what the number would be, but, what, the remaining 95% of the U.S., you can buy liquor. And sure, there's times it's probably like 9 in the morning till, I don't know, 10, 11 o'clock at night, midnight, where the sale of alcohol is legal. Okay, fine. But just that there's nothing united about this. There's not. There's just not. Look around. I see all these license plates. And I mean, people that aren't from here, they'll come down here, they'll see South Florida and be like, oh, fucking dumbass Cubans, dumb Puerto Ricans, stupid fucking Haitians, goddamn Brazilians, all these cocksuckers, get out of my country. They'll be saying that shit. Dumb motherfuckers, Floridian motherfuckers. I'm from New York. Everything's better in New York. It's not United States. They're just not. It's just not. I mean, George Carlin said it best. When you are born, you get a ticket to the freak show. When you're born in the United States, you get a front row seat. Ain't that the truth? The basic foundation of this country. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, I will poke holes in religion up and down the board. The one that I know most is the one that was associated around me, and that is Christianity. The big umbrella that is, how united and loving is that? Those Lutherans are fucking weird, man. Those Protestants, is Protestant even part of Christianity? I think it is. Catholics are fucking weird, man. They're not like straight up. They're not real Christians. Mormons are fucking weird, man. They're just goddamn all kinds of weird religion. What are the other one? Taoists. All these other different religions. Oh, they're fucking weird, man. They're wrong. They're wrong. We're the right one. We're the right one. I thought it was all based on love and respect and all that, and joy and all this shit. I'll poke holes into religion. Left and right. Same thing with politics. The two things they don't want you to talk about. You should never talk about. Why? Because they don't want you to start thinking and waking people up. Speaking and waking other people up. I'm not trying to tell people, and there's the thing too, when I say I'm not religious, doesn't mean I'm a Satanist. Christians love to, throw that around. Oh, you're an atheist, you don't believe in anything. Well, no. Look around. If there's a God, failure. Now, the morals, the ideas, the teachings, dare I say, I get that. You need a base foundation of good. You do. I don't believe everything that would be in that book, not that I've read it. I choose not to. Which, according to whatever view of God, that's, I have free will. So if anything, then why wouldn't someone just be like, okay, cool, fine, all right, I'll pray for you. You can do that all you want, that's fine. I don't need your prayers. Hell, even when I sneeze, I'm like, don't worry, don't say bless me. It was just fucking dust, or somebody snuck a cat in here. It's my soul is not trying to escape my body. It's allergies, okay? The world's not flat, by the way. Let's try to get into the now. But all these decisive things, and I would like to think that I'm more of the open-minded individual. Like I said, not all Muslims are bad. I've had friends that were absolutely wronged by police, detained, not charged with anything. So basically kidnapped by police and beaten. Yes, this happened to a friend of mine that I went to college with. She was essentially, if you look, she was kidnapped by police down here in Fort Lauderdale, beaten and thrown around and all this shit and whatever, and was not charged with anything. I paid for her bail, which apparently really wasn't needed because she wasn't charged with anything. They just let her out of the fucking lockup at whatever time that was. It was whatever, the next morning around, I don't know, maybe around noon or some shit. She was let go. Had no release papers, nothing. There's no proof, no sort of evidence that she was, on paper there. So yeah, there's bad cops. There are. Are they all bad? No. No, there's not. But even the fact that I say, there are bad apples of the police, you got to get them the fuck out of the system. Well, it's not American, goddamn blah blah. You must be a commie terrorist, pinko bastard. And of course, on the flip side, when I say that not all Muslims are bad, and I can point a few of them out that we all know, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Muhammad Ali, Eddie Murphy, you know those. It's like, that I can't point out. But if I point out a few bad cops, oh, well, that should... No, that's just terrible. No, God, you're wrong. You're totally wrong. You're un-American. And it's alarming to me that there are a lot of basic juvenile things being put up on Facebook about all these things. It really is. There's all kinds of shit, like wicked little cartoons. There was one, and I had to ask a few questions on it. Somebody had posted up a picture of the face of the gunman from Orlando, and it's like, if this piece of shit, it was somehow worded, if this piece of shit is not a representation of all Muslims, then how is he a representation of all gun owners? I'm like, well, he's not actually. It's just, my question is, why the fuck does he have to have a fully automatic weapon? Like, no civilian really needs that. There's no cause for it. You know, a simple 9mm or 45 should be enough, all you need to protect yourself. There's not too many people that are going into wherever, airports and clubs and whatever, with shotguns, which you can probably do a lot of damage and kill a lot of people with a shotgun too. And sure, the DC sniper, when was that, like 2006 maybe? Somewhere on there, but you remember that one, right? And that is a long rifle, like a scoped rifle. Okay, but that's, in all things seriousness, yeah, you can use that as a hunting rifle for game, animals, sport, you know. I'd rather it be for hunting, not just sport, not just kill an animal just to kill an animal. At least utilize the meat on the animal, whether you're using it for sustenance or whatever the case. At least utilize the game that you're killing. But, okay, fine. If you want to use the DC sniper as a different point of view, where that wasn't a fully automatic weapon, yeah, I get that. Didn't kill 50 people, did he? Didn't end up wounding, be it fatal or not. Didn't end up wounding 100 people, did they? You had all the shit go down in Paris. There was bombs there, grenades. How are these people getting a hold of these things? Those are my questions. I got plenty of people that I would consider to be gun nuts or gun enthusiasts. You know, yay, I got a gun, yeah, and that's fine. That is your right. But, like, I don't care. You got a couple of 40. I like revolvers myself. I would like to have one. Why? I don't know. See, that's me. I would want a revolver. Why? I don't know. If I had any gun, it would be something like that. A shotgun would work too, because if somebody breaks into my place in the dead of night and I reach over to my gun, that motherfucker's running right back out, you know? Like, they hear that noise, the loading of the gun, yeah. Who the hell needs an AR-15? I mean, who really needs one? Military issue, fine if you're enlisted. Like, I get that. But even still, it's not exactly like we're going to Okinawa, you know? Nothing like that. Civilians winding up with these weapons. That's the scary part to me. Nobody's going around killing 50 people and injuring 50 more with a couple of fucking 22 pistols. That's my question. That's it. That's what I gotta ask. And keep in mind that the right to bear arms, this shit was written out in the Bill of Rights or whatever the fuck constitutionally was all written about when they were still doing like putting a lead ball down a fucking musket barrel. If they had the foresight to say, like, wow, so there's going to be, like, Gatling guns, chain gun, miniguns, whatever you want to call them, fully automatic, you mean you can fire 50 bullets just by holding the trigger back. You don't have to manually pop, pop, pop. Really? There's no bayonet on the front of that thing? My word. Let me just put on my spectacles. Put in my wooden teeth, you know, General Washington, and you know, here we go. Let me look at this weapon now. Wow, really? This is what they'll become? Maybe they would have had the foresight to say, you know what, there needs to be limitations on this, not just any gun. I mean, that's my point on it. Remember, Obama didn't steal your guns. Remember a few months ago, like everybody was worried sick. He's going to steal your guns! I even wrote that because I was actually working at the news station the day that press conference was happening. And I wrote it out, I think, like, it was either all in caps locks or with fucking a bunch of exclamations. I said, he's taking away your guns! And people were kind of laughing at it, a couple of them. It's like, he's not taking away your guns, you fucking scared, insecure piece of shit. It's like you can have your 22s and your 38s and your 45s and all that stuff. 50 caliber. Shit, my friend's dad had I think it was a Desert Eagle. Shit, the two guns I know my dad had was, we had a 22 and he would use like a 30-06. I don't even know what you hunt with that thing. Like you go after a bear? 30-06 is a pretty big fucking bullet. I mean, a 22, yeah. I mean, you got like nuisance animals like squirrels or, birds that are just fucking hacking away at everything you got. Any bit of farming shit, your crops, they're just chewing apart the shed. Chipmunks and squirrels, yeah, they started to disappear after a while. Only takes a 22. And those are like nuisance animals. Oh, well, if you can, you're going to shoot the animals, but you can't shoot the gays. I don't know. Somebody will make an excuse for it. But it's just that decisive nature. Where if I say one thing that someone on this side would view, it'd be like, oh, okay, well, you're one of them. But at the same time, that same person, I'll say something that they don't agree with. The person on the other side will agree with it. You know what I mean? It's just that these states are not united in the least. They're just not. And it really saddens me that I'm seeing so many like juvenile things being written about. Where it's not like, something, a lot of supportive things. And of course, like I said, I lived in Orlando. That kind of hits really close to home, so to speak. I know enough people up there affected by it and everything else. Not going into details with shit, but, So did I talk about this when Paris happened? Well, no, I've never been to Paris. I don't really know many people that have been to Paris. I couldn't tell you all the things that, surrounded that. Even when the Orlando thing happened, I didn't know too much on it. Remember, it happened, here in the States, it was evening, and I was getting ready to do a baseball game. That's when all that stuff was going down, probably around 6 p.m. here, Eastern time. And then it just, the death toll, the number kept climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing. I'm like, geez. Initially, I thought, wait a minute. The first thing was like at that soccer game. I'm like, you're kidding me? The score got out of way or something, or somebody thinks the game's getting thrown or rigged, and there's a soccer riot and there was an explosion? You're kidding me. I thought it was kind of a sick joke, and I'm like, this is what sports is becoming now, sports is going to become death sport type shit. Really scary. And then it's like, oh no. Okay, so there was like a grenade went off just outside the stadium. And then there was at a pub. And then there was at a theater or something like that, wasn't it? Or like at a concert hall. It's like, geez, okay, no, that shit. And that's religion getting in the way again, by the way. So if I'm anti-religious, I'll just I'll poke holes at it right there. Yep. Government, politics, religion, those things that they don't want you to talk about. Because they don't want you to start to think. Because you start to think, you might start talking. You might start talking, you might start, other people might listen. And they might be like, yeah, you're right, you know what? This is fucked up. Or that is pretty messed up backwards. Sad little tale. It really is. By the way, taking the long way into work, I got plenty of time for a West Coast game, so I just took Sunrise all the way to University. Now I'm taking University South. A little bit of shopping. I got to, excuse me, fill up my 5-gallon water jug thing that I get at Whole Foods. My ultra purified, super clean, super duper mega ultra awesome water. I need an official name for it so I don't have to rattle off several adjectives beforehand. But it'll be funny to think that, if I were to write something online, some people have accused me of being an extreme liberal Democrat. Some people have said that, well, that's being, how fucking right-wing conservative are you? It's because they're both, the further you go to that side, the stupider you become, easily. So, I mean, there's more gray area to things than anything else. And like I said, it's the division of it all. One person can say, you know, we need gun control. The other person will say, no, gun control's fine, but that Muslim cocksucker. So then the original person's like, dude, not all Muslims are bad. Like, but they can't both see that they're somewhat both right and that there's not some inkling of, you know, I see your point. It's just, no, you're wrong. I mean, this is horrendous. Like, second grade bullshit. It really is. I mean, it's really, oof. Oh man, the Westfield Mall over here at the corner of University and Broward. Should I swing in there really quick? I mean, I kind of got time. Nah, no, not doing that. Was thinking about it. There was a couple fucking things I was going to pick up from my brother. Gotta let that slide for now. A couple of t-shirts and maybe get myself another hat. Not that I always wear hats, but, you know, certain days it just seems like, yep, you know, baseball caps, stuff like, you know, with a sports team logo on it. And even still, wouldn't know what I would end up buying today, but, you know. Whew. I'm yawning already. Stayed up late last night playing some video games with my friends back home, a couple of them. And slept in today, no alarm. Slept in till 10. I don't do that normally. I mean, that's sleeping in for me. Some people are like, 10 o'clock, shit, that's when I'm just waking up, you know. And I kind of miss those days. I'm like waking up at noon. I was like, alright, now I can get the day going. Oh, you know what? I think I missed, I missed a turn here. So let me just whip this here Yui. I don't think I can get in there from here. Forgot I was going to make one stop earlier. Just for argument's sake, I was thinking of getting a bottle of Crown Royal. Because I'm all out of Jim Beam. Just a little something, you know. The old nightcap. I keep saying, as far as whiskey goes, everybody does it right, but America. Irish do it right, the Scots do it right, Canadians do it right. More division, I know, right? I say things from other countries are better than what we got here in America. Oh, yeah. Can't blame me for that, right? And shit, a lot of the food that you love. Oh, let's have Chinese food, huh? Let's go for that. You know what I want tonight? Let's go try that Jamaican joint. Of course, has like a lot of Hispanic and well, that whole Caribbean flavor, you know? All that shit from the islands. Let's try some Italian food tonight. Let's go to this place. Got that going. Pizza. Pizza's actually, if I know right, it's Greek. The Italians just like perfected it. I'm in the red here. I'm counting down. What do we got? Under a minute. Zoom. You're good, dude. You're good. Don't worry about me. Just making my U-turn. I just hate that when there's like people behind me wanting to make that turn. And I'm like, oh shit! I don't want to get clipped. I don't want to clip nobody. But with time winding down, yep. These states, they're pretty fucking divided. If you ask me. But, you know, I don't think many people would agree with that. You know why? Because it's the truth and they want to side with somebody. That's my thought. So, keep that one for yourself if you want to. No chargebacks, no returns. For 30-minute musings till we meet again, I'll catch your ass.